All right, guys, welcome back to the After Hour Show. Marc Hamel here from After Hour Comedy, joined by Real Talk Radio, Jake Goodman.
Hello, people of the internet.
But let's go, and this is the video that everyone sent to us. This is ElizabethSouth. Goodman, have you watched? I'm pretty sure you've seen this video. We posted it. Did you watch the whole 14 Disney Princess Medley from ElizabethSouth?
I don't think I watched all of it, but man, has she got one heck of a good voice.
Goodman, you're supposed to lie. Yeah, you watched the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding. That's fine. We're going to play it right now for all of our listeners just tuning in. ElizabethSouth is going to be joining us in a couple seconds, and we are going to be interviewing her about this video and just singing in general. I figure we have a lot of artists on. We have a country artist. We have hip-hop artists. We have, just the whole spectrum. But this is the very first time we've really had someone who could sing like this. So we got your questions in there. Some of the ones, about being tone deaf and all that stuff. And they're all going to be answered. So we have that. But Goodman, here's the video. And I know you'll respect this from the recording point of view. Because look at this.
Window was open, so's that door. I didn't know they did that anymore. Who knew we owned 8,000 salad plates? For years I've roamed these.
So right now, basically this medley is going to go through a bunch of different Disney songs.
And with with how clear her voice is and everything, it almost sounds like it's actually in the movie.
Right.
Just from a listening standpoint.
Right. And we do get into that during the interview. This video is at 13,561,644 views right now. Okay. So this video is big, and we get into that, some of the sound quality and what goes into that. We do talk about that in the interview, and it goes on.
There'll be actual real-life people. It'll be totally strange, but now am I so ready for this change? 'Cause for the first time
Is it weird that this video makes me almost want to try to sing along, but I know what my voice sounds like?
Or you could do it as Kermit.
I could do.
Kermit the Frog here, singing with ElizabethSouth.
I mean, Kermit just performed at the Disneyland Festival thingy, 2 weeks ago?
And the 60th anniversary of Disney, yeah. And I completely forgot about Rainbow Connection, but that is an amazing song. I used to really, really like that song too, and seeing that brought me back. Although I wish it was the original Kermit voice.
I was a little bit disappointed that Kermit didn't invite me to sing with him.
There we go. There's Napa jumping in.
I'm finally here, boys and girls. I had to go to Super Saiyan University to go take my test.
Well, she goes on. Honestly, out of this whole song, there's a couple that I really, really like over the other ones. So right now we're doing Frozen. This is Anna? Anna, right?
Anna.
I'm so confused from our series.
Please, I know you're in there. People are asking where you've been. They say have courage, and I'm trying to. I'm right out here for you. Just let me in. We only have each other. It's just you and me. What are we gonna do?
And again, guys, this video is on our website, afterhourcomedy.com. We just linked her YouTube video, so go check it out, and she'll still get the views. This one is one of my favorites because it sounds so accurate.
It honestly sounds like Ariel.
I mean, it really does too. And trust me, like I said, and I'll say it in the interview. And Goodman knows, anyone who really knows me, I'm a Disney nerd. I'm not lying about that in any way.
He loves his Disney princesses.
Yeah, apparently, but just seeing so many people try to cover this song, I mean, this is probably it's top 3. It's got to be top 3. So this is my favorite.
What do you call them? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing.
Remember when we did a cover of this song?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, man. Where it was nothing like this.
What's that word again? Straight up where they
I was the one who sang it.
Again, a reference to KBZ, a series that's on the After Hours show.
Wish I could be
if K Swizzle was listening, he just screamed like a little girl, and he's so excited for this. But of course, in hindsight, of course this would be K Swizzle's favorite song. I'm just going to pause for a minute. Goodman, what is your favorite, like when it comes down to the majority of songs you like, what Disney movie do you like a lot of the songs out of? Like where there's like, you're like, all those songs are actually really good.
Let's see. Tarzan was really good with its Phil Collins songs. I enjoyed Little Mermaid. I want to say another one would be Lion King.
Yes, Lion King was a good one. Honestly, I don't know why. The movie itself, Beauty and the Beast, I mean, I watched it. I know what it is. But the songs from Beauty and the Beast are some of my favorite. Whenever I watch people cover it, and there's a couple other people I watch too that cover Beauty and the Beast songs, for some reason, the Beauty and the Beast songs, man, they stand out to me, and I really enjoy them. So this is another one of my favorites. So we had the Ariel just because of how accurate it was. And then this just because it sounds good. Honestly, when I hear people cover these kind of songs, I generally like the cover songs more. It's weird. I don't know. But again, guys, this video is on AfterHourComedy.com. It's also pretty much, if you go to ElizabethSouth.com too, I guarantee you can find links to it on there. That is the #1 stop for everything that she is doing. And we're going to get into this interview now. Goodman, I don't know if you have anything that you want to say before we get into this interview. It's a good one. It's definitely a good one.
If I had to say anything, I would say we should have a Disney princess concert, and she sings Disney princess songs.
Well, you'd have to find other people that could sing. I mean, unless you want her to be up there like just a full-on ElizabethSouth concert.
Yes, full-on ElizabethSouth, Disney princesses. And like she would have to like every song that she sang, she would have to dress up as that Disney princess.
Well, that's what she did in the videos, but to do it in a concert, man, that's brutal. You're talking about like instant switches. Like we'd have to do some kind of transition between every song. Get her on,
just like develop some high-tech technology.
Kind of like I'm gonna totally like mess up this name. Hitsani Miku.
Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune Miku.
Vocaloid.
Hatsune Miku. Kind of like those concerts. You could do that. I guess that's an option. Well, without further ado, guys, we're not going to keep you waiting any longer. We got ElizabethSouth interview. These are all questions that you guys sent in. There was one from me. And this is also someone that you guys sent us, and, we really appreciate that. I know she appreciates that. And keep sending in guests that you guys want us to get on. I know next week we do have I say next week, but that's if their computer's working. We just got to nail down a time for Pervert Pete and Ziggy to join us on the show, but those are the next people we're going to get on. We got some other special guests, too, country artists from, some of the other people. We have a bunch of people that we're getting on, basically. But up next, it's ElizabethSouth, and we're going to talk about it. But check out ElizabethSouth.com if you guys want to follow her, just talk to her, anything. That's the place to go. Without further ado, Goodman, you ready for this?
I am ready for some Disney princess musical.
All right, let's talk to ElizabethSouth on the After Hours show.
The window was open, so's that door. I didn't know they did that anymore. Who knew we owned 8,000 salad plates? For years I've roamed these empty halls. Why have a ballroom with no balls? Finally they're open at the gate.
All right, guys, we are back with another interview. Special guest on the line, and I'm very excited to talk to this person. We actually have ElizabethSouth on the line, and we are going to talk to her about some of the music she's been putting together. And this was actually someone that, you guys sent us. So this is very cool to get some of your questions answered. So Elizabeth, how are you doing? And I would love to welcome you to the After Hours show.
Hi, Mark. I'm very honored to be on your show. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So much.
It's really cool because deep down, I'm a huge, I don't know, and I don't mean this in an offensive way, I'm a huge Disney nerd about just everything.
That's awesome.
So
that's great.
Our studio's here.
And by the way, I just wanted to thank you. I'm glad that you're excited to talk with me. And that's really very nice of you to say.
We are. And I mean, our listeners, we do name that tune from time to time. So we have the people in the studio and callers call in and they can jump in on it. And we did a Disney Name That Tune. And then somewhere along the line, we found it was different. It was like a Disney medley or something like that. And then some listeners started sending us your stuff. I think it was the original one you did. And we'll get into the whole Ryan Seacrest contest, but that was the video that got sent to us from our listeners. And we listened to it, the very first one. And we were actually blown away. And to be completely honest, the people in our studio, one of the people that is on our show actually is a hip hop artist. And he's very open-minded when it comes to other music, but he actually he respected the musical side of it, your voice, the way you could sing. And I don't know if you're going for, I know you're doing cover songs, and I don't know if you're going to sound, or that's your goal, is to sound like the actual characters of the movies, but you sound very similar to a lot of them, specifically Ariel, when you do your Little Mermaid part of that world.
I used to sing that a lot when I was a little girl, so I guess, it's just, I've always loved Disney music, and to sing it, so,
yeah, that's awesome.
I thank you for that. I mean, I don't know if you know, doing cover songs is a newer thing for me. I never did cover songs. I have 6 albums of original music, actually. Well, not exactly 6. I have 6 albums, but the majority, I have a Christmas album, but most of those are original, like songs that I've written.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's good.
And I guess that's on my website, ElizabethSouth.com. And, I have a discography and I have lots of original music.
For all of our listeners, if you head over to ElizabethSouth.com, there's actually there's a lot there. And it looks like you're actually very involved with everyone who's interested in anything you do. But for all of our listeners, you can go check out all of her albums and everything. And
thank you.
Leading into that, to the collaboration you did, I just wanted our listeners to know that the Disney covers is what we showed on our show, but the depth with what you do is so much deeper than that.
Yes. So I think I wasn't going to record Let It Go because I didn't really want to do cover songs because it's expensive. Like you have to pay for the licenses for it. And there's all this, the stuff that goes on with that. So that's why I would usually write my own songs so I can own it all.
Right.
And then, so that song came out, my students that I teach at Durham Academy. And my students, we were working on a music program and I said, what should we do for our theme? And they said, we really, really want to sing Let It Go. So I was like, I had not heard of that song. And
really?
So, it was right when it came out. Okay. So I hadn't heard it yet.
Okay.
And so I went to go see the movie and I was like a fan, right instantly. And so I started trying to, sing the song. I was inspired and very moved by the song, the movie, everything about it. And so I was with some family members and they're like, you should record it. And I'm like, well, I usually go to Nashville to record. That's where I've done most of my recording. And I was like, I have some equipment here at home. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll try to see if I can set this stuff up, And so I just kind of set it up like on my computer and then I sang it a few times and then I comped it myself, like, where you do those stuff. And then I sent it to my producer and they mixed it for me. And then I put and then I made a video at home I was like, nobody's going to pay attention to this, because it's hard to get views. And I mean, unless you're really famous and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and the first day that I released that video, it got, 100,000 or 70-some thousand views, and I was like, whoa, and the funny thing is the day that I released the video, I was going to Nashville to record my last professional music video, for a song I wrote called, Run Away With Me, the Cinderella song. Ironically, a Cinderella song, which I wrote about, like the Cinderella. I mean, it's kind of like a Taylor Swift type, like rip-off kind of thing, I guess, but, but it's really, I love the song, was pleased with it and liked the video. We did a whole Cinderella thing. And ironically, then I dived into, the Let It Go thing. And then, so it's just kind of like a foreshadowing almost of what I was going to do following that. So that's kind of the progression of it. Yeah. And then the next thing I knew, like some weeks later, I get this email from Ryan Seacrest Productions, and I'm like, I had to read it a couple of times. I almost deleted it, like, junk mail kind of thing.
Yeah. And
I was like, what is this? And they're like, you're one of the top 25 who've been chosen to be in this Ryan Seacrest contest. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, no way.
Is there some part of you that thinks that might be a prank or a joke?
Well, not now, but I did
yeah.
at the moment that I got the email. I thought, what is this? I kind of thought, well, it's probably nothing. Like it's it's not real or something. Right. And so I had to go and confirm it, and I emailed them back and contacted them, and then I went on the website and saw I was on there. It's not on the website anymore on Ryan Seacrest. I think they've revamped their whole website, and none of the articles are on there. I was kind of disappointed in that, but
things like that.
And I wish I had saved it, but
things like that move pretty fast. Usually, like radio shows, it's like every day they're changing their site, and it kind of rolls over.
I know. I should have copied and saved it and put it somewhere else, and I didn't. So I'm kind of mad at myself for that. But oh well. But so that was then the contest, and then and then I asked friends and fans to vote for me, and some people got very passionately involved and, did a lot of promoting for me and voting for me and all kinds of stuff. And so that was fun. It was fun to win. It was just a wonderful honor to win that contest. Although I will say that all the other contestants were fabulous as well. So, and it's neat because I got to collaborate with, Caleb Hiles on my second Disney Part 2 video. He does a little kind of cameo with High School Musical thing with me. So that was fun because he was one of the contestants as well, and he's amazing. So
yeah, actually, believe it or not, he's one of those people that he was also on our radar in this whole Disney medley thing.
And Brian Hull too.
Yeah, they all. I mean, I love all that stuff, and so when we came through that, we started doing this thing. So, because I think one of them, they do like impressions and they sing like Disney songs as other characters and stuff too. And I think
that was Brian. That did that. But he wasn't in the contest because I think he came about a little bit after the contest.
So we did this thing in the studio where we tried doing that too, and we quickly realized that a lot of us were tone deaf. And
oh no!
But what I wanted to ask you was like, in your opinion, in somewhere in all of your, practicing singing, just singing down the hallway, wherever it may be, I'm really curious, is tone deaf like a thing, or is like, if someone can't sing and they're, quote unquote tone deaf, could that person then go and learn to sing and be good at it? Or is it kind of like, you can't sing, you're not a singer?
I think, here's my personal opinion, on that subject, although of course I'm not an authority and I don't know for sure anything about that, but
okay, fair enough.
What my opinion is that I think that there are some people that have a very difficult time matching pitch. Okay. And so I'm a music teacher. I teach preschool and kindergarten music. So, I like for them to all sing and make a joyful noise. And most of the time my students sing very well in pitch, but there might be some that just have a harder time.
You send them to the back of the choir. You're just like, yeah.
No, I don't do that. I might ask them to not sing I don't try not to point somebody out, but because you don't want to damage children, because one thing, music can be very damaging if you put them down and stuff, and they never get over it. So
well, exactly.
At least that's what I've heard.
Well, no, picture even when it's worse when you're older and you're trying to make a living out of it. Then it's really damaging.
Yeah, but I do believe that if someone can match a pitch in any way, if they have that ability, I think that anyone can learn how to develop the skill of singing. They can train how, like your vowels, how to, open your mouth, your breathing technique. Those things can make your voice better. And I think that you could sing decently. And I think there are a lot of people in the world who sing in that way decently.
Yeah.
That's and like in church or whatever, I hear people singing and they have pleasant voices, but I wouldn't call them gorgeous or beautiful. And I think there are a small amount of people in the world who actually have a quality to their voice that's unique and different. Yeah. And those are, people like Julie Andrews and, Barbara Streisand, people like that who have just these qualities I don't think everybody can emulate. I mean, I think it's like anything. Everyone's gifted in things.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Does that make any sense? I guess.
No.
Some people are better. Some people are better at math. Some people are better at, I'm not that great at math. So I'm more in like the English. And you were asking me about me singing like the characters.
Yeah.
And I think I did. I think that was. I mean, I'm not like Brian where I can do impressions, impersonations.
Yeah, he's
of people
crazy. He's crazy though.
Voices.
Like he'll go from like Winnie the Pooh to like some complete opposite end of the vocal spectrum.
Yeah, but I think that I have the ability to imitate if I hear somebody singing, and I can get the essence of the sound if I want to, if I'm trying to. And I feel the character and I feel what I'm singing, and I try to get into that character and be that character.
Right.
But maybe I have some ability a little bit, and but obviously, my voice is different and I can't sound just like someone else. But I think that maybe the essence of the voice, I tried to capture that when I could. I didn't, I had some people say, well, why didn't you do Snow White whiny, like from the original, the squeaky high, voice. So no offense to the singer, but it was a different, thing. I really liked the song, and I felt like I just wanted to sing it, I guess it was Barbara Streisand version. I'm trying to someday my Prince will come. Is that the song? I'm getting a problem. I've done so many now, I can't remember.
Yeah. I mean, apart from just like having to sound like that person, you actually having to do those high pitch. I mean, that doesn't seem easy, especially when you're trying to do an impersonation of someone. But I want to bring this up too. For all of our listeners, guys, we're talking to ElizabethSouth. Go check out everything she's doing. She's got a bunch of albums. You can go listen to her music, follow her. Yeah, I mean, very big on social media. And it seems like you're very down to earth, so I know people are going to love that. And again, ElizabethSouth, ElizabethSouth.com. Go check her out, guys. And I did want to ask you this. Now, we were talking about the tone deaf thing and all this. Okay, I actually, believe it or not, a music teacher, because at some point somewhere a long, long time ago, we were forced to do this is kind of bad, actually. It's really bad if you think about the way it works.
Okay.
So every single student in this grade had to go and try out for the chorus. It was like some middle school chorus or something. if you couldn't sing, they would kick you out of the chorus that you were forced to be in, and then you had to go and learn about music history or something because you weren't good enough.
Oh.
Well, the odd thing about that was the reason I was asking about tone deaf is because personally I can't sing, and I know there's
sure?
Well, I'm pretty sure I can't sing. But here's the weird thing. The weird thing is what you said is exactly what my music teacher said to me many, many years ago.
Really?
She said, because what she did was she would play a random note on the piano and she would say, now mimic this note. And she would do it like two people at a time. So that way, like she could see if we were embarrassed or not or whatever. And so I did it and I hit the note. And she said, okay, you can sing. And I was like, whoa. I don't fully understand this concept, but okay. So she threw me in the chorus I was not the star child of that. But I'm curious because I think I really can't. Like if I was to try to sing, even the songs, like say I'm in my car, I do like to sing, whatever. It doesn't sound like if I have the music up really loud, it sounds great. But if I turn the music off, it's not so great. And that's why when you said that, I was like, okay, so what do I do? And what do some of our listeners do? Because there's a lot of listeners that like music, that enjoy recording themselves, but they've openly admitted that they don't think they sound the best. And I'm not the person to give that advice. I think you, so if you can if I could hit those notes, how would I take my singing to the next level?
Well, I'm not a voice teacher, not a private voice teacher, although I've had a lot of my students asking me to teach them. And I have a student right now who I was like, okay, I'm going to teach her. And so I'm learning about this as well, because for me, singing, I sang, I just did it. And so I wasn't thinking about how I did it or, I did try to, focus on my breathing, but after a while, there's so many different techniques out there. Some people tell you to, you breathe in your stomach, you make it fat, and then you hold it out, or you pull it in, or or you feel like you have to go, like you're straining or something. So for me, I got confused. Yeah. And I just decided I'm just going to sing, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. But I've, been recently working more on, I found one really great technique was doing lip trills, like that, and then holding it. And I think what it does is, and I read this somewhere, is like it naturally makes your diaphragm do what it's supposed to do, which is kind of a pulling in, but you have to make sure you're breathing down low. But one of the things that's really helped me is recording myself. So I've improved, my voice has improved. I've sung since I was little, and I'm not saying vastly improved, but
yeah.
I record myself. And so when I am recording, like Let It Go or different things like that, the Disney thing, I sing it and I listen, and then I'm like, I didn't particularly like the way I sang that or the way that came out. So I do it over until I get it where I feel like it should be and get into that place.
Right.
And so by listening to myself, it makes me very aware. A lot of people don't listen to themselves. They sing, but they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear themselves, so they can really see what they really sound like. It's so hard to do that.
That is so true. So, actually, even in the same thing too. When we're bringing up like smaller shows and working with them, one of the first things I tell them, I tell people all the time is I was like, look, go back and listen to yourself, because you're going to pay attention. And if you say something, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have done that, you're going to remember. Or so for you, the singing, you want to lower a pitch, raise it up, your tones and all that. For us, it's like, okay, so if we say too much, too much, whatever, that's what I tell.
Yeah.
I tell people to focus on that, and then the only way to fix it and to improve is go back and listen to yourself, which I think I would completely agree with you on that. 100%.
And thank you. And another thing is keeping the voice forward in the mask, they call it, when you're singing. So with the Disney stuff, some people I just put it more forward because look at the stuff, we're like that. you know? And so it's more forward and, you know, in the cheeks and the teeth area. It's about placement. It's about, I guess there's a lot going on that I don't always consciously think about that I'm doing. But I do think, I mean, like, so I would say you weren't the star, but you were singing. And so the question is, you know, if you feel like you have to be a star, you know, maybe that's a high and lost, you know, a goal that maybe we shouldn't all try to be stars, but try to just sing for enjoyment and pleasure, which I think anyone can do. Yeah. So I think it was great that you could carry a tune. You may not have been the star of the choir, but you did sing. And so, but I think everybody does want to be, they want to be able to sing like that. And I feel that way too. I mean, I hear singers that I wish I could sing like them. And I find myself comparing myself to these people, and I get miserable when I do that. And you know, like, I can't do that. I have to accept who I am, the way I am, and the gifts that I have, and appreciate others who can do things that I can't do.
Yeah.
So having an appreciation for it. I wrote another song called Superstar. I've got a music video for that out. So, you know, it's a kind of upbeat song, and it's about, and I wrote it for my students, like, you know, you don't have to be a superstar but you can be a superstar. There's nothing wrong with being a superstar.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all, but you don't have to be, because a lot of people feel like they have to be. So
yeah, no,
and I feel that pressure too. So, you know, I think I wrote that for myself as well.
Absolutely. Now, guys, we're talking to Elizabeth South. Go check her out, ElizabethSouth.com. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good music up there. And right now we're talking about her music and everything that she's got going on. Now, I do have a question. This one comes from me. We've kind of been sneaking in questions from listeners nonchalantly, but this one actually is directly from me. Looking on your website, I respect and appreciate the fact that you show your whole team up there. Now, my question to you is, so when you record a song on like a video, the one that got sent to us, we're seeing just you, and right now from YouTube, all these, I think you're in the millions on that video. And so we're seeing just you, but behind the scenes, there's got to be so much more going on. And I kind of want to take a second, because how many people do you actually work with on your team? Your band members?
Well, for the Disney medley or my original music?
Just everything, because you go on the website. If you guys were to go to ElizabethSouth.com, you can actually see, and it's like you have to scroll down. There's that many people.
Yes.
So
well, they've all been over the course of 6 albums. So you know, for a few years, and so I start out with my producer Billy Smiley.
Okay.
And he is stationed in Nashville, although he has a place in Arizona as well. But Nashville, I think, is where he likes to go. People like to go. And so he's my producer, and he's a extremely talented person in every way. He's a songwriter. He's a musician. He's a guitar player, you know. And he was in this band called White Heart that was a Christian. It was a Christian band that was really famous, you know, for many years ago. I mean, a number of years ago. Yep. And so he's got a lot of connections with some really talented people in Nashville. So he was working with an engineer who mixes, and his name is Billy Whittington. And there's a couple other engineers, but Billy, you know, is one of the main ones who mixed my stuff. So that's 2 people, and he does the final, you know, he finishes everything, and Billy gets the musicians in. So, you know, it depends on what song it is, you know, like if we have like, you know, have drums, have a drum player, you know, got a guitar player, electric guitar player, piano, Blair Masters a lot of times will play for me piano. And, you know, these guys have played for some big bands and stuff, you know, like they're not just your average musicians. I mean, these are people that have been on multi-platinum records, you know, like I got one of my drummers, Steve Brewster, on my country album and my pop album. He was played for Faith Hill, and, like all these different people. So,
wow. Yeah, it's good.
So I've had some really, and also I got Dan Huff to play on electric guitar on 2 of my ballads on my Dream With Me album, which is the last original album that I did before the Disney, and that he played on Holding On to Love, which I think is the song I have playing at the end of the Disney medley, Holding On to Love. And that's a song I wrote with my producer. But Dan Huff is one of the biggest country music producers in the world.
Wow.
And so I was very honored he played for me. But with the Disney thing, it was totally different because I recorded it again at home, which I don't usually do.
Okay.
I did that at home. I actually made the medley myself on using Audacity and Logic Pro. And I took karaoke track. I mean, this is how I did it because, first of all, it cost a lot of money, and I spent a lot of money on all of hiring these bands and stuff. And for this, I was just like, I can't go out and hire, I can't have somebody orchestrate this whole thing for me. I mean, just the cost of that would be crazy. Yeah. So I just got karaoke tracks and just, tried to see how they could flow together. And then I was like, oh, okay, I think this sounds pretty good. And then I just sang it, recorded it, and then sent it out to be mixed, and it came back and I was like, this sounds pretty good. So then I did the video, and I did that all myself. I just had a friend of mine help me just basically turn the camera on and focus the camera on me. And I, mostly with my friend helped pull together some some simple costume stuff type things. And I mean, I wasn't really, I thought, okay, well, Let It Go did well, but I thought this is probably not going to do that well either. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm a little bit, I'm not very as positive as I should be sometimes, which I need to work on.
Well,
but anyway,
tough.
so I was like, so I did it, but I did all of that by myself, and I edited the video myself. I used Adobe Premiere Pro. And this is great because in the job that I work, they're an academy, they give me a computer, a Mac, and so on there's different, I was able to, I do a video project with 3rd grade. We do a film project, and so that Premiere program I got for editing on my job, and I used it for myself too. So so that's how I pulled it all together. So, but after I did all of that, I tried to put it on YouTube, and at some point I realized that before I put it public, before I published it.
Right.
And YouTube showed up a red flag for me, not a red flag, but a copyright.
Probably because of the background music, was it?
And because of the karaoke track.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is not going to keep me from putting it out. I have worked on this. I had filmed everything, done everything, and my vocals, everything was done. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go back to square one, and I've got to get some background music for this. So I went and called around people. Billy didn't even know, he wasn't completely, the guys that I usually use couldn't just to be able to orchestrate something to the level that I wanted it to sound like those karaoke tracks. And so he finally, they recommended Jim Daneker. And Jim Daneker is just phenomenal. I mean, he's a programmer. And he tours with Michael W. Smith. He's just phenomenal. He's just mega talented. And so he agreed. He really was impressed with how everything sounded before, the way I had it with the karaoke and everything, the vocals. He loved it. He was like, I'm on board. This would be really fun for him. So he created that whole background track to the part one all by himself.
Even during the transitions and everything, it's all 100%.
Everything, Jim Daneker.
That's good.
So it was just amazing. I had to pay him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in the end, it sounded amazing, all in the end, and
Yeah, he was great.
Wow, that's actually really impressive.
Yeah, and part 2, I didn't get him again just because I was like, it's quite expensive, and I was like, I just really can't, do that again. I can't afford it. But
Right.
and then I got Blair Masters, who has played keyboards on most of my original stuff, and he created that background with Billy. He and Billy did that, and it's a simpler background, but I think it turned out very nice, and it sounds really good. So
yeah, when it comes down to it, listening to part 1 and part 2, I mean, now that I'm hearing you explain all of this from the production side of it, I can hear the difference, although it doesn't detract from anything. It's just kind of like a part 2. So
right,
it all worked out.
I was trying to focus on my voice more, I guess, on part 2, and not, but Blair Masters is incredible. I mean, he's just amazing. So, but he doesn't orchestrate like Jim does. I mean, Jim does strings and and Blair could have done it, but I would have to pay him a lot of money for that.
Right,
because it's a lot of hours.
It is the work, and then all that, and then it's transitioning all that. Then it becomes yours and all that stuff too. So guys, we're talking to ElizabethSouth. Go check her out, ElizabethSouth.com. Just basically everything you're going to hear from her is amazing, and I highly recommend this. And what we're going to do is we're also going to post the video too. Your part 1 and part 2. We'll post those to our websites. And
thank you.
Everyone, go check that out. It'll be right on the homepage, and then also on the video page too. We'll put the part 1 on the homepage, part 2, or part 1 on the homepage, part 2 on our video page, and then so you guys can go just literally one click away, and then show some support, show some love. ElizabethSouth.com, and then so Elizabeth, got one last question for you before I let you get out of here. Basically, when it comes down to it, what drives you? When you're doing this, what keeps you wanting to sing, wanting to, I don't know, whether it's posting more videos or making new albums, just what's the motivation? Because we have a lot of listeners, we have a lot of talented listeners in the audience too, that are singers, are in bands, are hip hop artists, are anything. And the one thing I love asking people like you is what's the motivation? Because it comes from different places, from different artists.
I just love to sing. I've been singing since I was in 2nd grade. My music teacher heard me singing. We were singing Silent Night in class, and
which is also
she said,
Silent Night is very hard and very cruel for kids like me in middle school, because I'm the kid in the back that is ruining the song for everyone. But go ahead. But go ahead. I'll let you continue.
It's such a beautiful song, and my music teacher said, "Who has that beautiful voice?" Like, she was like looking around, and and they just made a really big deal out of it, I guess, and it just really made me feel good. And then they asked me to sing in front of the school, and so I did that. And I've just always loved to perform. Like, I've loved theater. Like, I used to be in so many plays when I was younger. I don't know. It's just, I think it's the the heart of it, the stories that are created from, the stories that the music surrounds the stories. And I'm very into stories. I love movies and things as well. So it all it's the humanity, the kindness, the caring, the love that happens in these, the overcoming odds and persevering, never giving up, and all of those messages that come from, that are a part of music and theater really touch me. And that, I guess that is what drives me, is the hope, the dreams of better things to come, or great things in life that you have, that you're content with, appreciating, all those things. Yeah. And so I think singing, and then I think that I try to appreciate the gifts that I have, not, enjoy. I try to enjoy hearing myself sing. Like, when I'm singing, I like to sing, and I like when my voice comes out pretty, and and especially after you record it and you get your best performance, and then it's mixed, and they make it sound like it's so good because it's not like you're rough where the balance, everything's unbalanced, the music's too loud or your voice is too loud or whatever, and they put that finesse on it. Now, my mixer says he will not auto-tune me, and a lot of people like try to go and say, "Oh, you can't sing because it's auto-tuned," and he does what's called fine tuning. So, like, if there's something that, like, I try to sing on pitch. That's what our goal is to sing it correctly the first time. Mm-hmm. But then but for radio, the expectation for radio and any kind of professional recording is that, everything be in pitch, unless you're like some character type singers that don't sing on pitch, which is part of their signature thing. Right, but most people, when they hear that, people don't know, like if someone sings off pitch, people may not know what it is that's bothering their ears, but that's what's bothering their ears. And so my mixer will make it just, he makes everything like really great, but he doesn't strap on an auto tune. Yeah. I had to beg him to strap an auto tune on one of my vocals on a pop song that I did. And he was like, "You don't need it." I'm like, "But I want that sound because it gives that really cool effect, like, like it's just that electronic kind of sound kind of thing." Yeah. So he did that on a song called it's Never Too Late. I think it's on Never Too Late. It's on my I Love You album. But so when you hear that, and I hear that final result, and you're talking about recording, you hear that final product and how beautiful it sounds. It's just, I have to say, there's nothing that drives me more than recording music. And I wish it didn't cost so much money so that I could just keep doing it and doing it. I don't know how much I can do or how little I'm trying to do, but I can't do as much as I used to, because I used to have like a rental house that I rented out. It helped me bring in money to help pay for all this. And I've got to sell the house now. So I don't know, like financially, I'm really not sure financially what I'm going to be able to do in the future with it, but I want to keep going. I mean, like, I just feel like, oh gosh, if someone could just,
well, what about,
it's not that I want to be famous. I just want to sing. I want to record and I want to put it out there. And I do like it when people listen, and I like it when people like it. But the videos also, I really love doing videos, and I really wish that I could have someone film music videos for me and just not charge an arm and leg and just make really great videos. And I don't really always have that. Exactly. That's kind of hard for me.
Here's what we do. All right. So everyone, ElizabethSouth.com. Someone out there, Elizabeth, you need to do this. You need to create a GoFundMe account.
I've done that.
GoFundMe. And for your next album, for your next video, I mean, when you have so many listeners out there, all the listeners here, they love your music. We found that they found the video, they sent it to us, which they usually only do that for people that they really, really, we're in like a college market type area. So they're very critical.
I want to thank. I wanted to say thank you to those of you who share my music with the station. So I really appreciate it so much. And thank you.
They're great like that too. And I know they'll support you. But seriously, like a GoFundMe account, I think you get that.
I did a Kickstarter. I've done 2 Kickstarters. I did Kickstarter for my Do It Afraid album, Do It Afraid, and then I did it for Dream with Me. And I just feel like, I hate asking for money. I'm really, like that's why I try to pay for. I've paid for so much myself out of my own pocket. I would say a lot of what I've done, I've paid for myself, except for the 2 Kickstarters. Which, I didn't ask for as much money as I really had to pay for that.
Well, I completely understand that. I get that. You have
to do the CDs, photos, design. There's so much that goes. They're so expensive, but Billy Smiley is great. I mean, he'll work with people, on budget and things like that. So I think, he's been, very generous and kind to me and helped me out. So
Just so everyone go check her out. If you ever see anything, so from what it sounds like, if you see a GoFundMe, jump on that real quick because it's not going to be there for long. It's not going to be there for long. But honestly, if you ever have anything you want to share with us, a new album, a new song, you're more than welcome to come back, or even just send us the song. We'll play it and we'll get it out there because.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
So yeah,
Right.
It's really weird. I mean, we're here in Florida, but we have a lot of listeners in the UK, and they're very active. We have a very active listener base, so I know they will definitely.
Wonderful.
They'll share this video. Well, they already did, but they'll share it some more, and I know they'll definitely we'll do everything we can. So if you ever have anything,
thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. So before we get you out of here, I don't know if you have anything else you want to say or anything to our listeners where they can go to support you and just stay up to date with everything going on.
Yeah, just go to ElizabethSouth.com and join my Facebook page. I'm very active on Facebook. That's where I respond to people the most. I mean, I try to reply to my YouTube comments. It takes a lot of time, but I try to reply to a lot of them.
That's hard.
But on Facebook is really my Facebook is facebook.com/ElizabethSouth Music is the URL for it. It's Elizabeth South Music. I mean, I have my homepage, which I don't really add people on there because I'm not really on there that much.
Yeah.
But the music one, I'm very active. So if I post something, people write me back. I usually write them back and thank them. If they ask me a question, I'll answer it. So that's a great place for me. I mean, I have a Twitter account too, but it's hard to talk to people on Twitter, I feel like. I don't know why.
Well, it is because it's basically just the comment portion of Facebook. I mean, not the comment, the status portion.
Yeah.
So,
but I do all of that. I do both of those things. And so, but I just wanted to thank I'm just very, I'm very touched that people reached out and shared my music with you. It means the world to me. It's just amazing, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Very
absolutely.
much.
No problem. Hey, and like I said, seriously, you're more than welcome anytime. Or if you have a new song, just send it our way. And again, guys, check out ElizabethSouth.com. Go follow her. Talk to her. I mean, basically, she said she'll respond. So go leave a comment and then just, check out all of her other things she has going on. And Elizabeth, I would like to thank you for joining us on the After Hours show, and you're welcome back anytime.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Okay.